welcome to COMX-TV. We're your weekly guide to the comic book universe.
I'm Steve Przybyla.
And I'm Mike Rizzo. Each and every week we bring you the hottest in comic news, reviews, and interviews. This week
we have Spider-Man number 117, Aquaman number 2, and Mal's Revenge.
And I'm bringing you some information, Puppy Toss catalog, Philistine number 3, and Super Crew Comics Convention special. So, let's kick off into this week's comics news. Comic Fest 94, which was to be held in Philadelphia October 7th through 9th, has been canceled. A company spokesperson confirmed this report earlier this week after rumors began circulating among the comic book community. In what appears to be politically motivated decisions, many of the companies that were scheduled to appear suddenly declined after the original show date of October 21st through 23rd was changed by David Greenhill Promotions. Competing promoter Great Eastern Conventions, run by Fred Greenberg, immediately scheduled the convention for that same weekend of October 21st through the 23rd in Philadelphia when Comic Fest changed its show date. Apparently, the publishers already scheduled for that weekend with Comic Fest decided to go with Great Eastern and present at their show instead. Comic Fest 93 was the largest comic book convention ever held in the United States and was expected to be even bigger this year. Great Eastern has a reputation for putting on inferior and poorly run shows. It is not known what effect this will have on Comic Fest 95. COMX-TV will keep you informed.
In the tradition of wildly successful Doomsday, the death of Superman, and the return of Superman cards from Skybox, Superman the Man of Steel series strives to tell a story, Superman's story. The difference this time, said Mike Carlin, DC executive editor and editor of the Superman line, is that the set spotlights all new art in an effort to tell in dynamic and never-before-seen visuals the entire story of the Man of Steel's never-ending battle. Skybox is releasing 2 different versions of these cards in 2 different formats and prices. Will be with the same art. Every card in the premium edition will be foil stamped, while the collector's edition have metallic ink rather than foil and embossed borders. The suggested retail price for the premium set is $3.99, and the retail is $1.19 for 6-card collector pack.
Wildstorm Productions has announced the follow-up to their hugely successful Wildstorm Set 1 trading card set. The new set, called Wildcats 94, focuses on Wildstorm founder Jim Lee's Wildcats covert action teams. Like the first set, Wildcats 94 is an all-chromium set, but with a difference. The 96 cards are extra long, making this the first oversized all-chromium set in the market. The cards will contain all new art by Jim Lee, Will Portacio, J. Scott Campbell, and many, many more. Wildstorm Set 1 sold out 4,000 cases printed and was number 3 in trading card sales in June. Expect to see these cards in stores in November.
Another rumor traveling the comic book community involved the sale of Overstreet Publications, which prints the Overstreet Price Guide and Overstreet Monthly to Diamond Comic Distributors, owned by multi-millionaire Steve Geppi. When contacted this week, Overstreet editor Gary M. Carter emphatically stated that there has been no sale. Yes, every year there has been a 50-50 chance that they will be purchased by offers placed for the popular price guide. But he stated, I can honestly say nobody's bought anybody yet. The problem that people see apparent is that if the country's largest distributor owns the country's oldest, most reliable price guide, there could be a problem with the guide prices. We will keep you informed of any new developments in this case.
We have the Philistine, number 3 of 6 from One Shot Press. It's $2.50. One Shot Press is a small publisher out of Connecticut, I believe they are. This is written by Michael Mangillo, and the art is by Mike Rizzo. We previewed issue number 1 late last year, a long time ago. I was impressed with the book then, and almost a year later, It's only 3 issues, but I'm still impressed by it. The art and story could appear in any number of large publishers' books. The art and why don't we read that twice? It falls in the Fantagraphics / ripoff press story style. It's got that kind of new wave-ish cyberpunk kind of look to it and stuff. The art is very good. It's looking for that realistic abstract tone, which is achieved very well. The story is about Nick Bottom, who's also known as the Philistine. He's a superhero vigilante type person. It appears that he's in the Punisher style of crime fighting. He carries these little balls, they're metallic balls. He whips them at people, and he can, hit them in the hand, knock their gun out, things like that. It's kind of neat. He's not necessarily a nice guy, but he's effective. He's on the run from the feds, and Nick and his pal escape once again, and so on and so on. It's not a bad book, and with all titles, if you can't find them at your local store, and they won't order them for you, or it'll take forever to get, write to us here at COMX-TV, and we will put you in touch with any publisher.
For my first book this week, I'm doing Web of Spider-Man, number 117 from Marvel. It cost us $2.95, and it is a fantastic flip book made with a chromium cover. This first story explains why Professor Miles Warren created Peter Parker's clone and why the clone left him. The second story, Spidey confronts the clone Peter Parker and asks him, "Why are you here? What are you doing here? Why are you ruining my life?" The story on these two were good. I'm not going to say they were very good. I'm going to say they were good. The dialogue was good. The interest level was good. The action level was good. The realism, a little far-fetched on this. Spidey's changing his costume again and everything, so target audience on this one, Marvel, Peter Parker fans, or Spidey fans. Humor in this one was good. The color in this one was excellent. My overall grade, I'm going to go good with this, but I got a little comment. $2.95 for this flip book is stretching it a little far because you're only getting 8 pages of each story, and there's a page and a half of advertisements in between. It's really not worth $2.95, but here you go, another gimmick book with a chromium cover. But if you can find this one, it sort of explains a lot about the clone, so pick it up. And that's my first one.
I'm bringing you now SCC Convention Special from Super Crew Comics. It's $2.25. It's written and drawn by Chris and Bobby Crosby. I don't know if they're related to Bill Crosby or not. The San Diego Comic-Con Convention Special, that's what this is about. It's kind of a simplistic artwork with a goofy story to it. The boys visit a convention. Todd McFarlane's there, Shaquille O'Neal, Rob Liefeld, and of course Steve's favorite Ravage man, Stan Lee. They all star in this issue. I found some of the information rather funny, especially when Stan Lee commented. He goes, "Would you like your Ravage 2099 #1 signed by me?" I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, considering I got it.
Yeah, in fact, that's what I had down here.
Signed by Stan Lee.
Super Crew calls their books the interlocking comic book universe with a few screws loose. Now, they're releasing a handful of titles over the next year or so. They're releasing a handful of titles over the next year or so. And we'll have to see what they bring, because this is the artwork on this. I'm not sure if this is just the way they draw, kind of childish, or if this is the style they're looking for. There might be a couple of young kids, and that could be the style that they do. It's not bad. I wouldn't go out of my way looking for it, though.
I got a question.
Yes.
You got Rob Liefeld, Stan Lee. Who's the other one?
Todd McFarlane.
Todd McFarlane.
Shaquille O'Neal.
What does Shaquille O'Neal have to do with them?
Because he had a comic book. There was a comic book.
Yeah, but he didn't draw it.
He didn't have a comic book.
He didn't draw it. Yeah, that was Charles Barkley. He didn't draw. What does he have to do with this?
I have no idea.
Hey, Crosby brothers. Think. Okay.
Okay, my next one right now, we're going to bring Crew. Another Crew. This is Crew of the Wanderlust. It's #7 from SPL Comics. It's $2.50. This is another one of those books, along with the last two that I've done, that you probably won't find in any store. So you might want to talk to your retailer or give us a write here. It's done by Paul Quinn, all the art and the story. Very nice cover art. It's an 11 by 14 sheet of paper that's folded in half, so the book is that size. It's like, what would that be? 7 by 11 or 7 by 8.5. No, it's not 11 by 14. It's 8.5 by 14. So that'd be 7 by
4.5, 4.25.
Oh, whatever it is. Anyways, it's a small square book.
It's small.
There's nice cover art that's done in color. This issue.
Color photostat.
Yeah, 7 by 8.5. I already figured it out. See. The interior art is black and white. It's a bit sketchy. The story is pretty good, though. It involves Jess, San, and the Phantom Knight. They live on a space station. They travel around. There's even a villain called Decade in this one. He makes an appearance. It's cute. It's easy reading. It's got a nice story to it, etc., etc. Nice, fun book to look at. You might want to take it around, see if you could find it somewhere. Not a bad book. It's definitely not Image or Marvel or anything like that. But if you're looking for an alternative title, it might be something to find.
For my next one, sit back and relax with this one. Male's Rage, #2 from Ominous Press. Bart Sears does this one. Cost is $2.50. I got a big question mark here because I didn't understand it at all. All these guys are fighting for some staff of power so they can rule the universe, and one guy cracks Mal in the back of the head, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Everything in this one was poor, very poor. The artwork was poor. The storyline was absolutely terrible. What I want to know is, Bart Sears is so much more capable to do a better book than this. I don't know why he's even doing something like this. One good point in this book is each character on their wording had a different color, so you know who was talking all the time. Not like sometimes you got all the white little word blobs and they're all mixed in. You don't know who's saying what. This is all different colors. It sort of told you what. I would not waste $2.50 on this book. We were just up at the convention and they had a bunch of them autographed by Bart, and there was a big pile of them, and I can understand why, because nobody wants them. But I would definitely pass on this book, definitely. Any comments?
No, I haven't read it.
Don't want to read it?
I know he's done mainly artwork.
Cover work.
And trying to write a book, there's a big difference there. I mean, I think Todd McFarlane had a little problem when he started doing Spider-Man.
Oh, I'm sure he did. Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, I'm sure all of them did, but this was terrible. This was something that...
See, but at the time, well, see, all these guys, when they started Image, they did do that. They all started doing their own writing and everything, too, but...
There's no story that I can understand with this. It's typical fighting for something that controls the universe like every other story does.
Well, his
just different
Roots
characters.
And Babes, I believe that's going to be one of his titles too.
That's
taking that right out of is that Wizard or
Wizard?
Yeah, Wizard.
Yep.
That's all he's going to do. He's going to just have smash 'em, grash 'em titles.
Beat up. Okay, for my next one, Aquaman #2. This is the Aquaman everybody's been waiting for. From DC, Peter Davis is the artist, Marty Edgeland is the writer, and Brad Vacata is the inker. Cost us $1.50. This is it. This one explains how Aquaman actually got bit by a fish. After all these years controlling him, some of them turned on him. He loses his hand. Very interesting story. Everything in this one was excellent. Target audience, anybody who's never collected Aquaman has got to pick this series up to start collecting it. He's got a new look. He's got long hair. He doesn't wear the green funky tights as much anymore. He wears them, but they don't look as weird. He's got a beard and a mustache. He really looks good compared to the old Aquaman, who looked like he was tiptoeing in the Nutcracker.
You enjoyed his look, huh?
I enjoyed his look. He looks a lot better in this one than he does in any of the other ones. Pick this one up, but try and pick it up from the first issue, not the second issue, because the second issue leaves out a lot on he was captured and this and that. I don't want to spoil the storyline, but try and pick it up. They're only up to issue 2 now. Issue 3 should be released sometime in the next 2 weeks. So pick it up if you can. And I give that one an overall rating of an excellent.
Why?
Why? Different reading. Like I said, I compared the old Aquaman to the new Aquaman. The old Aquaman books, same thing always happened. He calls in his fish to save the day and da-da-da-da-da. This one he has...
Oh, you're thinking about the cartoon where he always had all the fish following him.
Yeah, well, he did it in the comic books, too. In the older days, he always had fish coming to him and that. And he's trying to explain how he uses his telepathic powers in this one, which people never knew how he used them or why he used them. Now he explains that it's just not telepathic power. He either asks the fish to do something, or in trade, or you do me a favor, I'll do you one in time. And
can he talk underwater?
Yes, he can. He can breathe and talk underwater, and he can talk and breathe above water.
Peter David is one of the best writers in the business right now, and he thinks that this is a good title. He's hoping to keep it going for a while.
And as far as I know, it's been selling quite rapidly in any of the stores. So, good storyline. Pick it up. This week on
Dual Review,
we're doing Secret Weapons, the new Secret Weapons, number 11 from Valiant. Maurice Fontanetti is the writer, and Peter Grew is the artist. Cost is $2.50.
Talking like me.
Yeah, I'm dragging out my words. I learned from a good teacher. Bloodshot is brought in to teach a group of recruits how to use their new Secret Wars armor and their newfound powers, but not to only rely on the armor, but to use their minds instead. Now, the story in this one was good. The dialogue was good. The art in this one was excellent, as in most Valiant books. The interest level was good. Action level was excellent. Realism was excellent. Humor was good. Color was good. Target audience, I would have to say Valiant fans or Bloodshot fans. And my overall grade for this one is good to very good. What did you think, Michael?
Well, it's been a while since I read this book, but like all Valiant books, the look is exactly the same.
Yeah.
They have very good color in their books.
Yeah, they don't change the look of their books very often.
And the artwork is all very similar. There's not much change between one artist and another in Valiant. I don't know why that is. If that's their reason, if that's what they want to do, they all want to have the same exact look.
That must be their style.
Yeah, because it's not bad, and there's just something about them. You know what they look like to me? They look a little cheap to me. I don't know what it is.
Maybe because they're not using high gloss grade paper like Image does. Image uses high grade.
Well,
the high grade gloss paper and
but just
brighter color.
The artwork sometimes to me just seems to be a little substandard. Even though
compared to some of the DC titles and Marvel titles, I think that Valiant's got to be one of the top rated.
This story wasn't a bad story. There's not too many Valiant titles that I'm thrilled with. It's not bad. This was the big thing that came in an envelope.
Yeah.
You had to open the envelope, and then you found out that Bloodshot has joined Secret Weapons now. Now, does this mean that he's not going to have his own title anymore?
Good question. Something we'll have to keep you up to date on.
Yep. That's
something I don't know, and something Mike don't know, unless he knows it and he's not telling me again.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, what was your grade on that?
I liked that. I liked the book. I liked it. It looks like it's going to be a good series with Bloodshot joining the series. It should sell more books too, because Bloodshot's got a good following behind him. So, but I gave this one a good rating.
Okay, I'd say it's not a bad book, and I'm willing to give any Valiant title a try, because overall their titles are pretty good. Sometimes the art, I don't think it's that great, but overall the titles are good. Now I'd say give it a try.
And that's it for Dual Review. Another, As If There Aren't Enough, magazine is debuting that will attempt to cash in on the comic book craze. In January, Combo will debut from Century Publishing. Century publishers over 25 collectible sports and entertainment related magazines. Combo will be a slick, full-colored magazine that will retail for $3.95 because of its all-in-one format, said Joe Gallo, executive editor of Combo. No one will have to buy more than one price guide for a news source in our industry. Combo intends on bringing cutting-edge news coverage, top 10 ratings, a price guide, non-sports trading cards, action figures, video games, role-playing games, cartoon animation, CD-ROM, and interactive services. The first monthly issue will feature February cover date.
That's right.
And debut in January.
In our first category, presenting for Best Letterer, a talent who broke on the field phenomenally at Marvel, went on to establish his own company, Image, a genius behind Shadowhawk, Jim Valentino.
Gee, I didn't know I was going to be first. Gosh. First goes the waistline, then the eyes. I don't want to know what's third. Lettering is really, truly the invisible art. Bad lettering can really ruin a great page. Good lettering sort of disappears. You don't even notice it. Great lettering is an art. It's really nice to see people like Dan Clowes and Dave Sim on this list because they do really great lettering, even though they're known for their art and their story. I guess I should read the nominees are Dan Clowes for 8 Ball. Todd Klein for Sandman. Bob Lappin for Understanding Comics. Tom Orzechowski for Spawn. And Dave Sim for Cerebus. And they're all great. And the winner's Tom Orzechowski. And accepting for Tom is Larry Martyr. I think. Where'd he go? He just went to the bathroom. Well, accepting for Larry Martyr is, I think I'll give him a collect call. It's Jim Valentino. Thank you.
Now I'm bringing you the Comics Journal, number 169. This is a monthly magazine, the magazine of comics, news, and criticism, as it's called. $4.95, quite a pricey book, printed on newsprint from Fantagraphics Press. This is the magazine that probes the comic book industry from inside out. In-depth articles, reviews, interviews, they're not afraid to ask anybody anything. They bring you the stuff that Hero, Wizard, anybody else wouldn't do. I guess this would be like the Inside Edition, or whatever you want to call it, the 2020 of comic books. They really dig into every different aspect of the magazine. And the creator is Gary Groth, who is the editor, and I believe he's the one who started Fantagraphics Publications too. He performs most of the important interviews, like this issue had Neil Gaiman interview, 45 pages of interview. That's not counting ads in between there. That is a heck of an interview. There are some very good interviews and articles. I suppose if you don't like the cover story, you might not like the whole issue, because basically, like I said, 45 pages long is that interview. It's not a bad magazine if you're really looking to read a lot of industry information and interviews and such. So take a look.
Why does this set this above Wizard? And I mean, you're talking black and white on newsprint.
Okay, because this is
for $4.95, when you can buy for $3.95. Get Wizard.
Well,
you got
because this isn't a hype. Wizard and Hero.
Wizard and Hero, huh?
Wizard and Hero, and even Overstreet somewhat now. They're more geared towards hyping the Image and the DC and Marvel, whoever's paying them for their cover or whatever. That's what they're going to hype, and they do it a lot in their price guides and the top 10s and everything. This doesn't have anything like that. All it says is, here, this is what happened.
As anybody that watched us did our little convention special last week, we are having our grand prize drawing for our Dark Book #1 cover uncut sheet. And the grand prize drawing will be held right now. Michael, would you like to pick the winning?
Yes, dear. If we had somebody in a bikini, we'd have.
Yeah, we have a
we don't.
bikini-clad female
Okay,
doing.
the winner is Dean Sarago of Cheektowaga, New York.
Congratulations, Dean. We'll get in contact with you and send you our neat stuff.
Okay, and that's it for this week on Comics TV.
Yeah, and as we say each and every week, when you buy a comic book, read it. Just don't throw it on a shelf. Don't let your mother hit it with a vacuum cleaner.
You heard Mike
Take
Igo
care of
last
it.
week.
Yes, you heard Mike Igo. Take care of it. Take care of them. So next time you patronize your local comic shop, tell them you've seen it on
Comics
TV.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Puppy Toss catalog. Pick it up somewhere. Now we'll wait for
So
it.
this is our grand prize winner.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Superman, they're all coming right to you. Bill and Bud, Archie too, they will all be here for you on Comics, Comics, Comics TV, Comics TV, Comics, Comics, Comics TV. Fantasy and enemy, what's it gonna be now? Alternative, mainstream too, here every week for you on Comics, Comics, Comics TV, Comics.
A Fairy Play, a Play by Robert Duncan, 1953. Margaret